everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today I have something new. As you see, my desk is cleared off all except for a fuzzball here. He's gonna have to move here in a minute, but desk is all cleared off except for the fuzzball, and you may see the new rack I have back here in the back. And it actually is a very tall rack. It goes from the desktop all the way up there. Yep, big rack. And you might be able to guess by looking at this what I have that's new for you today. I gotten back into a hobby that I used to have for, well, I guess since I was in high school. Actually, probably since I was about 13, 14 years old. I built my first model. Scale models, by the way, plastic ones. And I built my first one probably when I was 13 or so. It was an F16, and of course, you know, had the old tube glue and just gooey all over the place, and it just, you know, what you'd expect from a 13-year-old building a model. And I ended up building a Davey Allison car from way back in the day, a NASCAR car. And ended up breaking that one, dropping it one day when I was carrying it up to my room, and dropped it on the stairs, and it kind of came apart in pieces. So I kind of, you know, I did some more during high school. I did some airplanes and stuff and had them hanging in my room. I did a lot more NASCAR models. And then I joined the Navy and kind of got out of it. And once I got back out of the Navy and went home, I kind of got back into it again, and I did mostly NASCAR models and car models. And I just recently picked it back up and said, you know what, I want to try it again. You know, now that I'm older and more patient, I bet I can make these things look a lot better. And I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos on, you know, all tips and techniques for painting and everything else. I went out and got myself a really nice airbrush right here. Well, it's kind of in its little cleaner thing. I got myself a really nice airbrush. My first time ever airbrushing anything, so I'm still learning how to use this, but it's coming to me pretty quick. I'm learning pretty well with it. And I've already built a couple of models. I think I've showed them off in my previous videos. I have the big Saturn V that I built. It's probably about 2 feet tall. Oh, really? Well, I'm sorry. You did it. Yo, he's crazy. So got that, and I have the small Mercury Atlas. It's a 1/10 scale, and it's got the launch pad and the little mobile carrier thing that carried it out to the launch pad, like a tractor trailer thing. And I finished it. They're not my best work, but they look good. You know, they look good in pictures. And you look at them up close, and you can find all the issues with them. But so I wanted to actually do this one here and kind of show off my stash a little bit. That'd be my first model video. Is I'm going to show off my stash to you for a little bit and let you see what all I've got, what I've got coming up to work on, what I am working on. So to start off with, my current work in progress is this. It's a A10 Thunderbolt 2. I've already got most of the build done. I'm working on the paint job right now. I painted it. It's a nice camo paint job. You can kind of see the different colors in there. It's painted exactly the way it would have been in real life, with the same markings in the same place and the same camo design. I did all that with airbrush. And I put a gloss coat over it to protect the paint. And I'm now working on the decals. I don't know if you can kind of see them right there. A little no-step decal there. Still got all the decals left to put on. Then it will get a weathering, or actually it'll get another gloss coat over the decals to lock those in. And then it'll get some weathering done, and I'll get the landing gear built. I don't have them done yet. And then after that, I will put a flat coat over it, because military aircraft typically are not glossy. They are typically a very flat coat, so they don't reflect. And it'll be done once I get the cockpit glued on. The cockpit is all detailed in there. Inside, I just have it taped over for the painting purposes. So that is that one. That's my current work in progress. And that is a 1/48 scale Revell. I'm not a huge fan of the Revell stuff, but unfortunately in most places like Hobby Lobby and Michael's, it's pretty much all you're going to find is Revell. You might find a few Tamiya kits, you might find a few Atelieri kits, and maybe some Academy, and those still aren't the top of the line. Like, a Tamiya is getting close to the top of the line as far as that goes, and I do have one Tamiya kit here. Airfix is another really good quality one now. They used to be the cheap quality before, but they've upgraded their company a lot, and they have really good quality stuff. So let me start off with my first one in my stash. Y'all remember this one. That is the Smokey and the Bandit 77 Pontiac Firebird. And that is it is a Revell. For cars, Revell is really good, I've found. For airplanes, not so much. Revell with their airplanes, the problem with them is they have raised panel lines, and it makes it really hard to do any kind of a weathering wash over it, because the whole purpose of the weathering wash is so that the paint of the wash gets down inside the recessed panel lines, and it accents them and brings them, you know, out so you can see them better. Raised panel lines, you can't do that, and it's more of a difficult process, and I really don't like working with raised panel lines, but so far all of the planes I've built since I got back into it are all raised panel lines. So yeah, of course it comes with the instructions like all model kits, and it's got the decal sheet, which that's not too bad. I may end up actually doing a lot of that. Well, no, it actually on the car is not painted on. That is actually pinstriped. So I probably will just use the pinstripes there instead of painting it on by hand. I could mask that off and paint it with the airbrush. But even on the actual car, they were stick-on. And of course it comes with clear plastic parts. Still in bags. I haven't taken them out of the bags. And then you got your actual body parts and motor parts and all your little tiny detail parts there. And then you've got tires, got actual rubber tires, which, you know, I'll end up scuffing up a little bit to bring out the tread detail and stuff. And there's that one. Put it off to the side here. And yet another Revell. Got the F4u Corsair. I've always wanted to do one of these. I always thought they were really cool looking planes. Probably my favorite, well, my second favorite World War II plane. It's not, again, it's Revell quality. As you can see here, you can see the panel lines are raised. They're not recessed. You can run your finger over and feel them. So it's going to be kind of hard to bring those out. A lot of people tend to sand them off and then go back through with what they call scribing guides. They're just little real thin metal photo etch metal scribing guides, and they use those and a scribing tool, which I have several different kinds here, to rescribe those panel lines and make them recessed. I don't know that I'm going to go through all of that process with these, because it's just more of a practice to get myself back into the swing of modeling and painting and learning. So I'm not expecting great results, but I'm going to try to do the best I can anyway. And it's all plastic. It's 48 scale, which most airplanes are 48. They're 72nd or 32nd scale. This is a 48 scale, so it's kind of middle of the road as far as the scale goes on airplanes. 32nd scale is pretty big, and 72nd is really small. And there's our decal sheet, and our instruction sheet, of course. Yeah, I did take some of them out of the baggies. It's even got a little clear canopy for the pilot to sit behind. And no, I'm not giving up diamond painting at all. No, I still do it, and I've been doing it in my lives and stuff. And a lot of you that have been hanging out in live, you've heard me talk about my models. You see me show off some of them as I finish them or as I'm working on them. The next one is, that's an Airfix brand. These are really, really nice. I love the plastic that this is made out of. I love the recessed panel lines. It's the Airfix 148 scale North American P51 Mustang. And this one is absolutely beautiful. The plastic feels much more sturdy than the Revell does. And of course you can see it has the recessed panel lines in it. Don't know if the camera's picking that up or not. There they are. So this one is going to be a joy to work on, and I have specific paints for this kind of a plane because the P51 actually was a chrome, almost a chrome polished aluminum plane. And these paints you see along the bottom of the rack there, right on the, that you can actually see in camera, these are all what they call extreme metal. They're lacquer-based paint, and they're made to be used in an airbrush. You put, like for the chrome and stuff, you put a black gloss coat underneath, and then you spray this stuff on and light mist coats over top, and you will actually get a real chrome finish when you're done. It is absolutely stunning. It looks like real metal when you get done. So I've got those there waiting. I've used them already on one of my models here. I'll show that one to you. This one here, that is my Mercury Atlas that I did, and you can see how that looks like real stainless steel. And that's right out of the bottle, out of the end of the airbrush and onto the model with a black gloss coat underneath. That looks absolutely stunning. I love that paint. Okay, and now this is the Airfix P51 Mustang. As I said, excellent plastic, good vacuum forming. There's not a lot of what they call flash, which is where there's excess plastic like along the edge here that sticks out and you have to shave it off with a hobby knife and resand it and everything. This has hardly any flash on it. It's a very detailed molding, as you can see there. That's inside the landing gear wheel wells. So this one's going to be a lot of fun to work on. I'm really looking forward to it. It comes with two different options. You can build it as the blue one there with the blue tail and those markings, and you can do it with those green markings as well. I think I'm going to do it in this one. It's got a very good instruction sheet. Airfix has some of the best instructions in the business. I mean, they're very detailed. Each one has the part highlighted in color as the one you're working on at that moment, so that you can see where it goes, how it goes. It actually shows a lot of detail and stuff, so that way you're not getting lost and trying to figure out how it goes on or whatever. And the next one, this one, I don't know, some people might call it offensive. I don't. It's a 1/16 scale General Lee Dodge Charger. Yes, it does come with the decal sheet. Yes, it does come with the roof decal. This particular model is discontinued. It is no longer available in stores. I had to special order this one from a vintage model site, and because MPC, well, one MPC really is no longer in business making models, but at the same time, the production company that made and held the rights to the Dukes of Hazzard has pulled all of the licensing rights for toys and collectibles because of the flag. I mean, to be honest with you, I'm not getting into that whole deal, but no, you can no longer buy this because of that, because it does come with the flag detail decal on it, and it is a 1/16 scale, so it is pretty big, as you can see there. I'm not gonna show it up close, but you can see, yeah, there's the flag decal. I'll cover it with my hand so that nobody gets offended. Does come with wiring. Not exactly sure what for, why there's wiring in there, because I don't think there's any electronics in this. And it comes with 4 nice big wheels, tires, chrome parts, chrome plated parts, and the interior is all molded in black, which will end up getting painted to like a beige color, because the original General Lee was beige on the inside. The exterior parts are done in white, and those will get painted. Actually, the real General Lee was painted in what they called flame red. It was a GM paint code. It was not a Dodge paint code, even though the car was a Dodge Charger. They originally used flame red GM paint on all the General Lees for the show. So I actually will have to special order from a place that I know that sells paints, that he can make any type of any paint code for any particular real manufacturer in lacquer-based airbrush paint. So I'm going to contact him when I'm ready to do this and have him make me up a batch of flame red. And of course, here is the size of the car model. I don't know, to give you an idea of scale on this one, here's a typical 1-liter Mountain Dew bottle. So it's a bit bigger than a 1-liter Mountain Dew bottle as far as lengthwise goes. It's a pretty big scale car. Most cars are in 25th scale or 24th scale. You can get them in 16th, and you can even get them in 1/8 scale. I had a 1/8 scale IROC Z Camaro, 1983 or 85, I can't remember. Right now it's kind of like the holy grail of model kits. I had one when I was in high school, and I built it, and I never actually finished it, and I don't know what happened to the kit. I wish I still had it, because now you can't buy that kit for less than about $400, and they're very hard to find. So it's kind of like my holy grail, because I want to build that one again. It was so big. It was, well, figure twice the size of this. It was probably on my desk. This here is 36 inches long, and it was probably 2 feet or more. It was a big car. And moving on, we also have a 1979 Pontiac Firebird. It is in 1/16 scale as well, and it is the gold colored Firebird. I had one of those when I graduated high school. I had a 79 gold Firebird when I graduated high school. And so I saw this and I was like, I've got to get it. I've got to get that. And so I found it at Hobby Lobby and picked it up. And I want to make it as realistic as the one that I drove in high school. So I looked up the GM paint code for what they use on the 79 gold Firebirds. And I had my guy at Model Car World mix me up a batch of the exact same paint code gold color that was used on 79 Pontiac Firebirds. So I have some of that to paint it with. Of course, what's in the box? MPC instructions. Now this kit originally came out in I want to say it came out in like 80, 81, so it's old tooling. It really is old tooling. So I'm not expecting a ton of detail out of it, simply because it is such an older kit that's still being manufactured and re-released every year. But that's the instruction kit, the instruction sheet. As you see, it's not super detailed, but just enough to let you know what goes where. Again, it's about the same size as the General Lee. It's a pretty big sized model kit. 1/8 scale, or 1/16 scale. It's all molded in like a ivory colored plastic. A lot of flash. I'm going to have to do a lot of touch-up work on flash work and that kind of thing. It's got a clear parts and red clear parts. And got some real metal springs and some rubber tires. And of course, a few chrome plated parts. And that is the 79 Pontiac Firebird. So far, from what I've shown you, just what I have here, I'm looking at a year's worth of building. Just on those kits that I've shown you already. I still have this one, a Revell FA18E Super Hornet. It's in 48 scale. There's Hank. Say hi to Hank. And I've already taken this one out and kind of looked at it. Typical Revell quality. Raised panel lines. Well, some recessed and some raised. I can't really... They're kind of mixed. It's kind of a recessed and a raised panel lines. They're mostly recessed, which is good because Revell isn't known for their recessed panel lines. So this is a relatively newer tooling kit. It was an F-18 Hornet. I've been up close and personal with these. When I was in the Navy, we had 2 squadrons of them on board our ship, along with our F-14 squadron and an E-2 squadron, and you know, your typical air wing for a carrier. Hank is playing with my paint shaker over here. Hank, stop. It's a pretty detailed kit. Well, again, it's Revell quality, so it's not the best, but they've done an awful lot of work on their newer stuff. You can see there's some flash stuck to it there. Kind of see it behind the glass. You know, it's not the best. Excuse that phone. It's an old phone I'm trying to clear off and reset it to factory settings. But it's not a bad kit, and I'm looking forward to working on it, especially now that I know that it has recessed panel lines. I'm so tired of working on raised panel line kits. You have no clue. This one here looks like it's going to be a lot of fun to build. First Lunar landing kit. It comes with the lunar lander, astronauts, and a base that looks like the moon. And it even comes with gold foil. Hank. It even comes with gold foil that you can use to wrap the base and the legs and stuff in to make it look real. And it's got pretty decent instructions. It doesn't look like it's going to be a hard kit to build, to be honest with you. It says it's a skill level 4, but I think that's because of the painting involved with it. But otherwise, it's a pretty simplistic model kit. There's not a lot of detail to it. There are aftermarket detail kits you can get to detail this up to make it more realistic. I just don't see myself investing that much time and money into this kit, to be honest with you. So it's nothing special and major there. I'll pull out some of the parts and let you see them. There's your base, your moon base. It'll actually, yeah, said something like that. And then there's your parts. They're all in one big baggie. I haven't even taken open the baggie yet, just because I haven't needed to. But yeah, that's the lunar landing kit. I'll get to that one of these days. because I think I want to work on a car next. I've been working on airplanes and rockets, so I'm going to work on a car next. And the last of the smaller kits, I say smaller, this is a 1/48 Tamiya, top of the line brand right there, by the way. Tamiya, actually, that's what they call it. I think it depends. There's a big argument in the modeling world. Is it Tamiya? Is it Tamiya? Is it Tamiya? Nobody really knows. It's Japanese. It's a Japanese company. It's a 1/14 or 1/48 scale F14A Tomcat. Tamiya does have an F14D version. I chose the A simply because when I was in the Navy, I was in an F14 squadron, and we were the VF-111 Sundowners, and all of our planes were A's. I happened to be searching around, and I found somebody who makes... Ooh, ouch. That was big. I happened to find somebody who makes decals, and they have what is called the Sundowner Anthology. You can make every plane that was ever flown by the Sundowners in every type of configuration. You have the high visibility configuration of what they call the CAG plane. See, in a squadron in the Navy, most planes are painted in the low visibility paint scheme. It's just dark ghost gray, light ghost gray, and then black and gray decals so that it's low visibility in the sky. Or they have the CAG plane. It's usually the 00, like this one here says 200 on it. Can't hardly see it there. Yeah, it says 200 right there. The CAG plane was always colorful. It's a gall gray. It's what they call light gall gray. And it always had the colorful tails. And every squadron had a CAG plane. Like that one there is the 00 of that squadron. And it was on board the Nimitz. Well, that's the decals this one comes with, is to do that. It actually comes with the decals to do that one there and that one there as well, from the Iranian Air Force. Or, yeah, it's the Iranian Air Force. That's from the VF2 Bounty Hunters on the USS Enterprise. And you can also do that plane there from the Nimitz. I don't want to do any of those because I want to do the aircraft that I worked on. And the exact one that I worked on would have been, I think, this one right here. In 1993, every plane has what's called a bureau number, a BU number. And that's basically the plane's, that's that plane's serial number, according to the military. And so that plane may serve in one squadron for a while, and then it gets shipped to another squadron, and that squadron repaints it in its colors, and it flies for that squadron for a while, and then it may get sent over and reused at another squadron somewhere else. So you can actually trace each BU number. There's a place online you can go to trace it to find out what squadron that BU number was in. So I just searched for the F-14 that was our 00 CAG plane when I was in the VF-111 Sundowners on our Westpac of 92-93. And I found that BU number, and it is listed in here. It's one of the ones that you can build. So I'm going to build the exact plane that was in the squadron when I was there, with the exact markings, BU number, and everything. So that's why I ended up buying the F-14A, because this decal set, which is what this is, was made for the F-14A Tamiya kit. And I also have on the way for this one, I also have an aftermarket set that's got updated, more realistic landing gear, engines, and cockpit. They're all resin and photo etch parts. This kit comes with very nicely done molding. It's just impeccable. It's beautiful. I've watched build videos of this kit, and fits together absolutely perfect. There's hardly any body filling, sanding, or anything. There's hardly any seam lines. They actually use the where the parts join together is where there would be a panel line on the real plane, so that it kind of hides those seams, which I think is ingenious. I really think every model company should start doing that, but Tamiya is the best. Now, I probably won't even be using most of this one right here, because this is all pretty much cockpit parts. I mean, you got your injection seats here. The wheels are behind it. I probably won't be using those parts because I do have the aftermarket cockpit coming in. It's all done in resin, and it's a lot more detailed than this one is. So I probably will be using that, and I probably won't be using these because I have the updated resin engines coming in as well that are more detailed and better than this. It comes with all the weapons, missiles, tanks, whatever. More cockpit parts and wheel well parts, which the landing gear struts and all, I'm going to get from my aftermarket kit that I just ordered. Comes with the decal set, but again, won't be using these. And it comes with a masking set for the canopy, for the clear canopy, which I find to be a great addition. A lot of places don't include those masking sets, simply because, and it's got great instructions, like big instructions where you can see where all of the decals and stuff go. It's great. It's just a great kit all around. Ding, 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 ding. That is probably Amber dinging me. She's at work today. And yeah, even the cockpit is molded, and it's got little bars over top that actually protect the canopy from other parts rubbing against it and scratching it. You can't beat the quality on a Tamiya kit. So that one is going to be, after I get good with the airbrush and get a lot of practice in with my skills and stuff again, that will become my one of my projects that means a lot to me, because that one is. Now the next one is my big one. This is going to be probably a couple of years worth of building, I'm sure, because it is that big. It doesn't even fit in the whole camera frame. That's the 1/350th scale trumpeter USS Kitty Hawk. It's big. I was on board the Kitty Hawk with VF-111 in 92 to 93. We did a Westpac cruise. We went to the Persian Gulf, and we flew our squadron along with the other squadrons and the British Air Force and the US Air Force. We flew several strikes on Iraq, which is what killed. It was after 2 boats from the Ranger, USS Ranger, shot down Iraqi MiGs in the no-fly zone. We were dispatched there. We were already off the coast of Somalia with Operation Restore Hope. We got steamed to the Gulf instantly overnight, pretty much, and told to get there. And we patrolled the Gulf, and we flew strikes off the carrier. And we are the reason why Iraq had no Air Force when we went back in for Operation Desert Storm back in 2001. We are the reason why, because we decimated their Air Force with our strikes off of the USS Kitty Hawk and off the USS Ranger. So I found this online. I paid a pretty good penny for it. It was probably about $300 for the model kit. It's big. It's worth it. Again, it's 3/50th scale. Model kits, like for ships, typically production size model kits for ships don't come in sizes bigger than 1/200th. This is a 1/350th. Typically the ones you see in stores are all 1/700th, so this is twice that size. Of course, it comes with it comes with kind of pictures and description of the kit itself. It does come with some photo etch of its own. We'll get into that here in a minute. excellent instruction book. Very good instruction book. And these are the decal sets for it. Tons and tons and tons of little decals, and then some big ones for like the flight deck markings, which I will probably end up painting in. Oh, advertisement for display cases, which I probably will end up getting a display case for it. Just because I want to protect this one. Because I told you I paid $300 for the model kit. Paid another $400 for a photo etch detail up kit that adds all the little bells, whistles, knobs, buttons, everything. So it's all a lot of parts in there. It's all photo etched. They're all that thin metal, brass metal. We'll get into that here in a few minutes. The painting guide for the ship comes with a painting guide, so you know what colors to paint it. It does come in the kit with these planes. However, I am going to build this one exactly the way it was in 1992-93 Westpac. So I had to get more planes for it, which we'll show those in a few minutes here. It does come in separate boxes inside the kit. First section here is the hull. This thing is 3 feet long, literally. I mean, my green thing here is 3 feet from end to end. This ship is 3 feet long. It is massive. It's very well done, well detailed. What I plan on doing is I'm going to do the flight deck. It doesn't come with a very detailed flight deck from the factory like this. They didn't detail the inside, they just detailed the outside and the flight deck. Well, the hangar deck on the inside is just as much a part of the ship, and it's going to be visible because you have these big elevator ports all around here that you're going to be able to see into. And I have great memories on that ship. So I wanted to do the interior, I wanted to do the hangar deck. Went around and started searching around. I went to shapeways.com, which is a 3D printing company where you can buy 3D printed pretty much anything. And I found a guy who had done a complete wall set for the interior of the Kitty Hawk in 1/350th scale. It's made for this kit. And so I ordered that. And it's sitting here too with me right now so that I can end up building my interior with my hangar deck. And I'm going to have all the proper planes. I ended up finding a guy who makes decals for 1/350th scale planes. And he had the entire air wing set for that particular cruise that I was on. So I ended up ordering those. The model kit itself. And actually, hold on, throw these out. Here is the flight deck. Very large size flight deck. That is over 3 feet long. The kit itself is actually compartmentalized in the boxes. And these boxes are very secure. Give me just a second here. Sorry, folks. Alright, so the boxes themselves are Hank. Put his tail right underneath my feet. These are the small aircraft. You see they're tiny, but they have to fit on that big flight deck. So, you know, they're to scale. They're 1/350th. That's all airplane parts. I'm probably not going to use a lot of those at all. I already have all of the planes needed in other boxes. There's ship parts. Lots of little ship parts. Lots more little ship parts. Even more little ship parts. And more little ship parts. And even more little ship parts. There are tons and tons and tons of little ship parts. And that is that little box. Those are mostly the little like lifeboats and stuff like that go around the edges. The little stick-on parts is what I call them. The actual island, which is the big part here on the ship, is in this box. Of course, you have to assemble the entire island. It doesn't just come as one big piece. And see it, there's parts of it there. Those are sponsons, which are like the balconies off the side of the ship. And there's some more sponsons. And there's the big sponson on the side. And there's all parts of, there's part of the island. I mean, the island itself comes as one block, basically, but you still have to add all the parts on to make it look right. And there's even more parts and even more parts there. Those are elevator doors, which I probably will not use because I have an upgraded set of those off Shapeways as well that were 3D printed. That are more realistic than those. And here's the floor of the hangar bay. Comes in two parts that snap together. And then there's photo etch parts. Very, very thin brass photo etched. Those are like the around the side of the flight deck there are nets that stick off the side of the ship like this. Like this is the flight deck. There's nets that stick off the side so that if anybody falls overboard, they don't fall overboard, they fall into those nets. And that's what these parts here are. That looks like a radar part for the radar dish, and there's some more nets there. But that's really all that's included. You've noticed in there's not a lot of railings. It's because it doesn't come with all the railings around all the balconies or sponsons as we call them, and around the island and stuff. It doesn't come with all those railings. It's actually not included with the kit. So that's why I bought that other detail kit that is all photo etch parts. Because I want this one to look as it looked when I was on it. And so I want all the little details. So that's the model kit itself. All 5 years worth of work there. This is the guy that I was telling you about. He has the decal kits for the entire air wing of when I was on, and he also has all of the hangar bay decals, so that's what goes inside the hangar bay. And there's the decals there for the air wing. anybody's ever interested in where I get all this stuff, feel free. Shoot me a message, leave it in the comment, whatever. I'll be glad to fill you in on where I'm finding all my sources. I've had to do a lot of research to get the parts that I need for this one because it's not all just right out there in the open. Now, to go with this one, to go with that one, I got the MK1 detail up kit. It's called MK1 designed by KA Models. It's a Korean company, and I had to order that and have it shipped from Korea. And it is a lot of little metal parts there, like antennas and radomes for it. That's all gonna have to get painted at some point. Lifeboats, little missile storage thing, it looks like. And then the rest of it is all photo etch with instructions on where everything goes. All those brass parts that you see in all of these instruction sheets on both sides are the photo etch parts. And it shows you exactly where to put them, how to put them on. To detail your kit up to look like it should. And these are photo etch. This is all the photo etch. Some of it is actually painted photo etch. So it's already painted. That goes on some of the small airplanes. Most of that does. This is all railings. That's all railings right there. You can kind of see them. That's all little detail parts. And I just dropped one. It even has the anchor chains. And they're actually little chains. And that is, I have no clue what that is. It's little brass parts. And one of them looks like it has come off and fallen out somewhere. I hope it's not in the carpet, because the carpet monster likes to steal that kind of stuff. It could be in the box. I don't know. Well, I'll find it, I'm sure. I mean, it's some bright, shiny brass, so. Yeah, I'll have to look for it. It could still be stuck in there somewhere. But yep, that is the MK1 detail up kit. Again, I said that was probably an extra $400 on top of the $300 model to get you the level of detail that you see there. And again, like I said, this kit, this Kitty Hawk kit is probably going to take me a couple of years to build once I get started on it. It's not going to be a quick build, and I really do not want to mess it up, especially for the amount of money I paid for it and for what it actually means to me. It means a lot to me, and I want to see it turn out basically museum quality. Slide. There we go. then to go along with that as well, you see it's labeled Ship Interior Parts. Here's the instructions as to where they go. And here are the parts. They're all 3D printed. Little plastic parts. Of course, they'll get painted. They're taped to the inside of the bag. But they'll get painted like the interior color of the ship so that they'll match. But those are all the walls and set up to make the interior of the ship look like it's supposed to. And these are the elevator doors. I was saying I had a set of those. That I was going to use because these just look more realistic than the original, than the ones that came in the model kit. They have the little things molded into them there in the 3D printing. They're just a much better alternative to the ones supplied in the kit. And I think altogether for all of this that I bought on Shapeways, probably another $150, I think. I think that's what I paid for all of the 3D printed parts. And so that's the entire hangar bay for the USS Kitty Hawk. And then this is the entire air wing to go inside of the Kitty Hawk. The E2C Hawkeye, the F14B and D Super Tomcat, the F14B and D Super Tomcat. I couldn't find A in that, so that'll work. A6 Intruders, more F14s, more F14s. There were 2 squadrons of F14s that had about 12 apiece, and there is 6 planes in a box. So there's 12. There's 1 squadron of F14s. There's an A6E squadron. There is an EA6B squadron. The S3 Viking, there's 2 squadrons of those. There's another squadron of A6Es. There's a squadron of SH-601 Seahawks, which are the helicopters. And there's another squadron of F-14s and another squadron of E2C Hawkeye. And of course, I think I will be using some of the E2C Hawkeyes out of the kit in that are included in the big kit. But yeah, that's the big model kit. That's my... I don't even know when I'm going to start it, to be honest with you. I want to get a lot better at the hobby before I even start on that one. But I wanted to get it now while this stuff is out there and available before it becomes discontinued and then goes up to thousands of dollars just for the kit. I figure I might as well get it now. So there you have it, folks. There is my entire scale modeling kit. I didn't even go into my tools and paints and other supplies, which are just tons and tons and tons of stuff. But suffice to say, all of the little bottles you see there, those are all acrylic airbrush colors. And then the next shelf up here is all, some of it is glue on that end and decal setting solution there. I got glues right here, different kinds of super glues. I've got model cement, extra thin and extra thin quick set. I've got right there is the canopy glue, and then I've got some more Tamiya paints. Those are all acrylics as well. And then I've got some Mr. Surfacer, which is a primer and surface filler. You also can paint it on with a paintbrush into like seams and gaps and stuff and let it dry and then sand them, and you can fill it that way. Up top I've got milliput, which is kind of like an epoxy clay. It's up here. You use that 2-part epoxy clay to mix together to fill bigger gaps and seams. Nail polish remover is just typically acetone, so you can use acetone to get rid of some things like super glue. Acetone takes away super glue. I've got some satin varnish, gloss varnish, some flow aid, and other things, and those are all pretty much thinners and cleanup stuff up on top there. I do have oil paints for weathering. For weathering, you use oil paints. For some of the weathering, there's different types of weathering. I also have oil pastels, the ones that look like a piece of chalk. You can use that for your weathering as well. There's different methods to it. And then I've got a whole assortment of brushes over here that are used for different types of... Right there. There we go. Whole assortment of brushes, which is a really neat idea for a brush holder. Found this at Michael's. It's a little wooden crate that they use for crafting or whatever, for making, you know, little decorative crates. And I got some hardware mesh. Well, not hardware mesh. It's plastic mesh that I bought to actually keep Hank from jumping off the balcony, which doesn't work. He just climbs up it. But I took and cut a piece of that plastic mesh and I hot glued it down to the top of this, and I've got an excellent brush holder. And I put a piece of cardboard on the bottom, of course, because, well, the brushes were just falling through the slats on the bottom, because the bottom is just like the sides here. So, so yeah, there is my modeling stash. If you stuck with me all this way, give me a thumbs up emoji down in the bottom, and let me know your thoughts. What would you like to see me work on next? I kind of want to do a car next, but I wouldn't mind doing another airplane. I don't know yet. Just let me know. Let me know down in the comments. And I hope you all enjoy seeing this. I'm not going to do... I mean, I'm going to do it on my channel, but it's still going to be a diamond painting channel. I'm still going to go live on Sunday nights diamond painting. Amber and I both will be. And Pam will all be there diamond painting on Sunday nights. I may throw in, you know, of course, unboxings. We'll still do those, and unbaggings and friend mails and all that. But I may just throw in a video from time to time working on a model, showing what I'm doing, how things are going, kind of progress I've made on it, whatever. So yeah, I hope you all enjoy this and see where this goes. I'm just going to add it into the channel as another craft or hobby that I do. You know, a lot of people add in coloring and stuff. I'm gonna build things. So, until next time, rock on, y'all.